Some of you are not tired because of what you're doing. You're exhausted because of what you're thinking about doing. You lie awake at night not because you're moving too much, but because your mind is running laps around fear, failure, and what-ifs. But tell me, how many miracles have died in your imagination? How many blessings have suffocated in the graveyard of hesitation? How many doors never opened because you never reached out your hand? There comes a time when thinking must bow to doing, and that time is now. They found her sitting at the edge of the bridge, not jumping, not crying, just staring into nothing. Cars rushed behind her, life moved on below her, but her soul had paused, frozen. Not by fear, not by loss, but by the weight of everything she hadn't done. Dreams that had never taken breath, ideas that never made it past the page, 1,000 starts without a finish. She wasn't broken by tragedy, she was paralyzed by her own mind. She had become a prisoner to her own hesitation. Let me ask you a question that demands honesty from the depths of your soul. How many dreams have died inside you, not because life crushed them, but because you kept thinking and never moved? There is a hidden suffering few dare to talk about. It's not the suffering of failure, it's the agony of never trying, the torment of potential unfulfilled, the quiet mourning of a life imagined but never lived. You tell yourself you're waiting for clarity, for the right time, for the perfect plan, but deep down you know the truth. You're not waiting, you're hiding. You're protecting yourself from what might go wrong, and in the process, everything that could go right is slipping away. You weren't born to live stuck in your head. You weren't given breath just to sit on the sidelines while others run. There is something inside you that was meant to move. There is power in you that will never rise until you stop thinking and start acting. Some of you have been circling the same decision for years. You've analyzed it to death, prayed it numb, journaled it thin, and still done nothing. And the longer you wait, the heavier it gets. The longer you think, the more reasons you find to stay where you are. Listen to me, thinking is not progress. Wisdom is not hesitation. There comes a time when another plan, another strategy, another deep dive into your thoughts is a strength. It's cowardice disguised as wisdom. And if you don't interrupt it, if you don't snap out of it, one day you'll look back and realize you've wasted the most powerful years of your life stuck in a waiting room you built with your own doubt. You don't need another sign. You don't need another green light. What you need is a holy fire in your chest that says, enough. Enough with the delay. Enough with the excuses. Enough with the mental gymnastics. You're not stuck because of life. You're stuck because of overthinking. There are some doors that only open when you walk toward them, not before. They don't open to contemplation. They don't swing for anxiety. They unlock when motion meets momentum. You're waiting for confirmation, but what if the confirmation comes after you move? What if the miracle is on the other side of your first step? I know what it feels like to be afraid, to have 1,000 voices in your head telling you why it won't work. I know what it's like to feel that if you make the wrong move, it'll all fall apart. But can I tell you something soul-shaking? The real danger isn't in moving forward, it's in standing still. Because stillness breeds decay. Overthinking is not neutral, it's corrosive. It erodes your confidence. It eats away at your courage. It turns today's opportunity into tomorrow's regret. You are not a robot. You are not a machine. You are a living, breathing, powerful creation. You were made for movement, for purpose, for change. And no matter how much logic you apply, no matter how many what-ifs you replay, your life will never change until your actions change. You can't solve your way out of fear. You have to do your way through it. Some of you are carrying dreams so big they scare you. It's good. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. But don't let fear lie to you. Don't let it convince you that you're not ready. Don't let it tell you to wait until everything is in place. Let me break it to you with love and fire. The people who change the world are never fully ready. They move anyway. They jump, scared. They walk into the unknown with trembling hands and pounding hearts. And somehow, miraculously, things begin to move around them. Because life honors movement, the universe bows to boldness. The energy of momentum creates openings you could never think your way into. Let me ask you, what are you sitting on right now? What have you buried under layers of logic and delay? What vision keeps coming back to you when the world goes quiet? That's your call. That's your assignment. And the longer you think instead of do, the more it rots inside you. You can't hold purpose hostage. It will fight you. It will haunt you. You can try to silence it, distract it, deny it, but it will not die quietly because it was meant to live. There is a version of you, stronger, freer, bolder, on the other side of action, but you'll never meet that version by staying where you are. You've got to leap, you've got to rise, you've got to do what scares you, not because it's safe, but because it's right. And here's the truth that most people don't want to admit. Overthinking is not just a habit, it's an addiction to safety. It's an obsession with control. You're not analyzing because you care, you're analyzing because you're scared. But life doesn't honor fear, it honors faith. Not blind faith, not reckless leaps, but the kind of faith that moves even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. The kind of faith that says, I may not know what's next, but I know I can't stay here. This is not about hustle. This is not about grinding. This is about obedience to the call that's been burning in your bones. This is about honoring the reason you're still breathing. This is about doing what you were made to do, even if it's messy, even if it's hard, even if no one claps. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You need action. Start with what you have. Begin where you are. Stop looking for perfect conditions. They don't exist. Waiting for them is just a beautiful excuse to stay stuck. The enemy of greatness is not failure, it's inaction. It's the slow, subtle, silent erosion of dreams that never leave the mind. You are not here to die full of potential. You are not here to take your dreams to the grave. You are here to live out loud, to run your race, to leave this world empty because you poured out everything you had. Don't let fear keep you quiet. Don't let doubt keep you still. Don't let overthinking steal the life you were meant to live. It's time to stop analyzing and start building. Stop wondering and start walking. Stop thinking and start doing. Yes. Let us go deeper now, into the very soul of your calling, your delay, and the sacred war within you. Let us pierce the veil of hesitation and reach for the fire buried beneath your doubt. This message isn't for the passive. This message is for the one who knows there's more, who feels the weight of potential pressing against the inside of their ribs like thunder trapped inside a bottle. You feel it. That pressure, that ache, that sacred unrest. It's not anxiety, it's destiny knocking. You've convinced yourself that your silence is safety, but silence can become a cage and safety can become a slow death. You're not tired because you're busy. You're tired because you're resisting the very thing you were born to do. You're mentally exhausted, not from action, but from the war inside your mind between what you should do and what you're afraid to do. That inner civil war is draining your life force. You're leaking power every day you delay. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're lazy. It's because you're standing at the edge of something sacred and you know that once you step out, there's no going back. And that scares you, because stepping forward will demand more of you than ever before. It will stretch your soul. It will expose your flaws. It will require sacrifice. But listen closely now. Comfort has never built anything eternal. Nothing lasting, nothing meaningful, nothing transformative was born out of convenience. There comes a time when overthinking becomes rebellion, not against logic, not against fear, but against the deep purpose woven into your bones. There comes a time when your inaction becomes dishonor. You dishonor your own soul when you keep it bound to the prison of what-ifs. You were not given this vision to bury it under excuses. You were not entrusted with this dream just to overanalyze it to death. There are some assignments so weighty, so divine, that delaying them is dangerous. And I must tell you this with love that burns like holy fire. Every time you delay, something dies. A connection that could have changed your life. A moment that was meant to shift your direction. A door that will not stay open forever. Yes, I said it. Doors close. Opportunities vanish. Not because you weren't worthy, but because you weren't ready. Because you kept waiting for peace to show up before you acted. Not knowing that peace only visits those who are willing to move through chaos. You have been conditioned to believe that clarity comes first, but true clarity only comes through obedience. You cannot wait your way into confidence. You build confidence through courageous motion. One act of courage becomes the seed for the next, and before you know it, the fog starts to lift, the road starts to appear, the power starts to flow. Not because you thought your way into it, but because you moved. There is a fire that can only be found in motion. Some breakthroughs are movement activated. They do not come by thinking, they come by stepping. And the longer you sit, the colder that fire gets. You were never meant to live cold. You were never meant to shrink. You were made to burn, to carry the flame of impact, to leave footprints of change wherever your life walks. The world is full of thinkers who never became builders, doers who never dared, dreamers who never delivered. Don't join them. Don't let your life become a monument to what could have been. Don't let your name be remembered as someone who had great ideas, but no fruit. What use is a dream never born? What good is a vision that never sees light? You've been asking for signs, but what if you are the sign? What if your very breath, your sleepless nights, your deep ache for more? That is the sign. You don't need thunder to shake the ground. You need one brave decision, one undeniable act, one move that says, I will no longer be defined by my delay. There's a boldness waiting to rise in you, a fierce, unshakable resolve that's been buried under layers of hesitation. But I tell you now, it's time to tear the veil. It's time to interrupt the cycle. It's time to silence the voices of doubt that have taken up permanent residence in your mind. They are squatters, not your masters. You do not owe them another minute. They've robbed enough from you. It's time to evict them with action. And if you fail, then fail forward. Let your failure be proof you lived. Let it be evidence that you dared. But don't let the fear of falling keep you chained to the ground. There are lessons that only come through movement. There is wisdom born only in the wild of obedience. You can read all the books, hear all the teachings, but until you put your hand to the plow, nothing will grow. Start ugly, start unqualified, start unsure. Just start, because the power is not in perfection. The power is in your presence. When you show up with full heart and trembling hands, something shifts in the atmosphere, something opens, something holy awakens in the earth. You weren't designed to have it all figured out. You were designed to walk in faith, not formula. You may feel small, but you're carrying something massive. You may feel unprepared, but you're pregnant with purpose. And if you don't move, you will miscarry the very thing you were created to birth. You've waited long enough. You've sat in the classroom of fear long enough. Now it's time to graduate into purpose. There is someone waiting on the other side of your obedience. Someone you haven't met. Someone who needs the gift inside you. And your overthinking is robbing them too. This isn't just about you anymore. Your delay is a chain reaction of absence. Every time you hold back, something essential is withheld from the world. You were not given breath to analyze life. You were given breath to change it. Don't make your mind a graveyard of what-ifs. Don't let your thoughts become the tomb of your purpose. Set it free. Give it movement. Let it rise, even if it stumbles. Let it live, even if it shakes. This is not the season for small moves. This is the season to leap. You've been in the wilderness of worry long enough. Now it's time to cross over. And you won't cross by thinking, you'll cross by doing, by daring, by defying the voices that said you couldn't, shouldn't, or weren't enough. What's waiting for you on the other side is not just success. It's alignment. It's peace. It's strength. It's identity. It's that feeling of finally being home inside your own skin because you're living what you were born to do. That feeling does not come through thinking. It comes through action. Stop trying to be ready. Start being real. Start where you are. Use what you have. Give what you can. Trust what you carry. You are enough for the next step. You don't need the full staircase. You just need to move your foot. That's how momentum begins. That's how fear breaks. That's how destinies awaken. Let me tell you one last truth before we continue further. You will never be free until you move. Because freedom is not the absence of fear, it's the presence of courage. And courage isn't something you wait for. Courage is a decision. A defiant decision to say, even if I'm afraid, I won't bow to it anymore. Now let me speak directly to that part of you still holding back, the part that whispers, what if I'm not good enough? Oh, I hear you. That voice is cunning, familiar, disguised as wisdom, when it's really fear dressed up in logic. But let me tell you something holy and unshakable. Your worth is not proven by success. Your worth is proven by your willingness to begin. The lie that you must be polished to be powerful has kept too many people paralyzed in potential. You don't need polish, you need permission. And here it is, you are allowed to start messy. Every great movement began with uncertainty. Every story of transformation began with a trembling step. Nobody begins on a mountaintop. They begin in the valley with shaky knees and raw determination. You may not be ready for the whole journey, but you are ready for your next move. And that's all you need. One holy move forward. It will cost you comfort, yes. But comfort has become your prison guard, keeping you away from the life that is screaming to be born through your hands. You were not created to die with ideas still buried in your bones. There is a sacred cry rising from the ground where your dreams lie dormant. They are waiting for you, not to think about them, not to talk about them, but to do them. The earth responds to action. The air shifts when you decide. Creation itself leans forward when someone fully wakes up and says, I will no longer wait for perfect conditions. I am the condition. You're looking for a sign. Listen to the urgency in your spirit. That inner fire is not random. It is evidence that you were chosen for something specific, something divine, something only you can do the way you do it. You're not just carrying a gift. You are the gift. But if you bury it beneath your fear, the world is robbed of something only you could bring. And oh, how much beauty has been lost because of silent fear? How many songs unsung? How many books unwritten? How many breakthroughs delayed, not because of outside opposition, but because of inner hesitation? The most dangerous enemy is not out there, it is in the delay of the willing. The heart that says, I'll do it later, becomes the soul that never does. You think you're protecting yourself from failure, but you are protecting the world from your greatness. And I must say it loud now with thunder in my chest. The time for protection is over. The time for release has come. You've been asking the wrong questions. You've asked, what if I fail? When you should have asked, what if I succeed and finally become who I was created to be? You've asked, what if I'm not ready? When you should have asked, what if this hesitation costs me everything? You've asked, what if people judge me? When you should have asked, what if people never get to experience what I carry because I was too afraid to show up? It's time to flip the questions. It's time to challenge the challenge. To look the fear in the face and say, you no longer own me. Because the truth is this, you are not the anxious thoughts. You are not the doubt. You are not the delay. You are the fire behind all of it, trying to break free. You are the storm. You are the earthquake waiting to happen in a dry, stagnant world. You want miracles? Move. Because miracles often wear the disguise of small beginnings. That phone call you keep avoiding, that first paragraph you haven't written, that person you've been meaning to forgive, that class you've been meaning to take, that's the miracle in seed form. Don't despise small starts. Heaven doesn't despise the beginning, it blesses it, and the moment you begin, invisible help begins to move. When your feet hit the ground with purpose, the entire atmosphere starts to respond. Resources begin to find you. People you've never met begin to speak your name in rooms you've never entered. Doors begin to creak open where before there were only walls. But none of that happens if you stay still. Faith lives in the doing. You cannot think your way into impact. You must walk it out. There is no shortcut to the reward. There is no bypassing the obedience. And there is no substitute for starting. Don't romanticize the idea. Don't get high off the potential. Potential is beautiful, but if you never act on it, it becomes poison. It turns in on itself. And then you begin to decay under the weight of everything you could have been. But that is not your story. I feel it in the spirit. You are shifting even now. Something is rising in you that can no longer be denied. A roar is forming where there was once a whisper. A fire is spreading where there was once only smoke, because the truth has found you. And once you know, you can no longer unknow. Once you've heard this call, you can no longer unhear it. The delay must end now, not tomorrow, not next month, now. Not because someone is pressuring you, but because the hour demands it. Because destiny has been tapping your shoulder for too long, and now it's pounding on your chest. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more time. You don't need to wait until you feel like it. You just need to move. Let your hands write, let your mouth speak, let your feet walk, let your gift breathe. You have held your breath long enough. It's time to exhale, to release the river that has been dammed up behind fear. The world is not waiting for your perfection. It is waiting for your presence, your authentic, trembling, unpolished presence, because that is where your power lives. In the real you, the unfiltered you, the daring, bold, raw you who no longer asks for permission to show up. You don't need permission to be powerful. You already are. Now I say to you with holy urgency, don't just agree with this message. Don't just nod and cry and whisper, that's good. Do something. Take what you've heard and move. Not next year. Not when the kids are grown, not when the bills are paid, not when you're more confident. Now, in your imperfection, in your fear, in your confusion, Do it scared, do it shaking, do it unsure, but for the love of everything sacred, do it. And when you do, when your action finally matches your inner fire, watch what happens. Watch how your world changes. Watch how strength begins to rise where there was once only hesitation. Watch how boldness flows like a river. Watch how joy comes rushing back. Because joy is not a reward for thinking,